Coming up, his life's work is to ensure Cherokee culture doesn't become history. How Tommy Wildcat spreads the Cherokee message and why he works so hard to keep our traditions and language alive. And they were once on the brink of extinction, but bison are making a comeback in Cherokee country.
I'm proud to see them here. We're doing something that is helping a species that's helped all Native American people.
And our herd is growing. We'll catch up with the first bison calves born in the Cherokee Nation. Plus, Smithsonian storage.
So what we have in the collections that you're seeing here with pre-removal objects, for the Cherokee, the importance of those objects cannot be overstated.
A rare behind-the-scenes look at Cherokee artifacts stored in the archive collection of the National Museum of the American Indian. And he's the outgoing president of the Oklahoma FFA, he's Cherokee, and he's making quite a name for himself, one speech at a time.
The Cherokees.
A thriving American Indian tribe.
Our history.
Our culture. Our people.
Our future.
The principles of a historic nation.
Sewn into the fabric of a modern world.
Hundreds of thousands strong. Learning, growing,
Succeeding.
And steadfast.
In the past, we have persevered through struggle.
but the future is ours to write.
Osiyo.
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 These are the voices of the Cherokee people.
I'm Principal Chief Bill John Baker. Osiyo, and welcome to the Cherokee Nation. We're so proud to share our stories with you. Wado.
Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. In this episode, we visit Washington, D.C., where each year the Smithsonian's National Museum of the American Indian holds a special event called Cherokee Days. It's a special time for Cherokees as we celebrate our culture and heritage and share it with others on a national stage. Artisans demonstrate their crafts, and culture keepers lead demonstrations with museum visitors. One man has been sharing the Cherokee story in communities across the country for decades. Tommy Wildcat is a sort of cultural ambassador for the Cherokee Nation. Tommy's most well known for playing the flute, but says his life's work is ensuring Cherokee culture lives on for generations to come.
My name is Tommy Wildcat. I work for the Cherokee Nation as a history cultural specialist. I assist and help in people who are wanting to learn a little bit of their heritage, taking on the role of representing the Cherokee people. I've been doing that pretty much all of my life. And in my professional career since 1988, when I first started getting involved with the Cherokee public, it starts from the roots of teaching the kids around me. Osiyo, tohija nakada. My name's Tommy Wildcat, and I promote the beautiful world of the American Indian. I've sort of pioneered my own career. I was a supervisor at the Cherokee Heritage Center's ancient village. I was hired as a stomp dance leader. Through the summer, we had taught about 10 boys and girls, and this one lady who is a national treasure, her name is Lena Blackbird, and she came up to me and says, well, I just want you to know, this summer has really changed a lot of them boys and girls. A lot of them young boys and girls never connected to anybody to teach them the traditions and heritage. She says, but you know what? You really did something with them, and you made a really strong impact on them. Since that day, I never stopped. I've always loved my heritage. My parents were involved in the traditional ceremonial dances. All of my family were brought up into it. That was the strong background of memories that I have. Hearing the ancient songs of our ancestral people, it most definitely shaped my life. My dad and mom gave me a chance at life. Ceremony, dancing, talking as much Cherokee because it was their only language. We were the minority in our own region and community. My mom and dad gave us that chance at life. And that's the same thing that I'm passing on, that I've been passing on for 25 years. To non-natives, you know, there's very few of us left. Traveling around for the Cherokee Nation to the uninformed public, to let the world know that we're still here, we're still alive, we're thriving, we are prospering more than ever today in 2015. Now I'm going to play another song for you, one of my most prized compositions on the Indian flute. In fact, it's my newest one. I call it Dona Da Goha'e, which is in every American Indian language. We have no words for goodbye, but we'll see you again. I've been very fortunate to make my own music and play at some really extraordinary events. After I got through playing, so many people would come up to me, talking to me about my music. They would be entranced with my songs. That's the most meaningful things of my career in music. If my grandfathers and fathers were here with me, they would all be helping me. Over half my life I've been doing this. I think before I pass on to the next life that I'll be doing this till I can't do it no more. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Osiyo. What else?
People from all over the world visit the National Museum of the American Indian. It houses one of the most extensive and diverse Native American collections. In a rare opportunity, we get to show you some of the museum's most impressive Cherokee artifacts, which are actually housed off campus in the archives.
NMAI's Cultural Research Center is a state-of-the-art building about 15 minutes away from Capitol Hill. It's home to collections from North and South America and the museum's research programs. The center's curator gave us a tour.
Well, Jennifer, this is the collection storage area of the Cultural Resources Center of the National Museum of the American Indian. It was built in 1999, and it was built to store the collection of the NMAI. The core of the collection comes from a private museum from New York City. The Smithsonian built a state-of-the-art storage facility. And state-of-the-art these days is what's called compactable storage. So all these units that you're looking in, they can move. This facility, as I say, was built to store the collection, and there are over 800,000 objects in the collection.
While the museum houses 1,300 Cherokee objects, old and new, only about 100 are from Oklahoma. Most of the artifacts are from North Carolina, and an even smaller number date back to pre-removal, before the Cherokee people were forced onto the Trail of Tears.
More traditional material is all this river cane basketry. As you can see, there are a lot of baskets. Over here we have pottery. One object that I'm very happy to have in the collections is this piece of pottery right here, because I met the maker of this pot. It was made by Louise Bigmeat, and to me it's a very touching, and I'm very happy that the NMA has that in the collections, because as I say, I knew Louise and I knew how much she cared about Cherokee traditions, about making pottery, making basketry.
When it comes to NMAI's collections, there are two men curators hold in high regard for preserving so much of the Cherokee culture. A Cherokee from the Eastern Band named Will West Long and an anthropologist named Frank Speck.
Okay, so we have spread out on the table for you several Cherokee objects. And so what I have out here is some of the material that Frank Speck collected while he was working with Will West Long. Cherokee have a very, very strong dancing tradition, and Speck worked with Will West Long to understand what the green corn ceremony was about and the dances involved in the green corn ceremony. So what you have here are masks from animal dances and the booger dance, and then you have the fans that are also used in dances. An object we have over here that's very interesting and I think you'll like a lot is a pipe bowl that was collected in Tahlequah, and written on the side of the pipe, if you look carefully, if I tilt it in the right angle, you'll see syllabary. So that is a very unique and a very special piece in our collections. I'd like you to look at these Cherokee moccasins because, again, these are pre-removal. So just for that reason, they're very special. They're made out of black deer hide, tanned black deer hide. They're beaded, and they are lined with silk. And that's not something that somebody would expect to see in the collections. Okay, this dates to the removal period and before Cherokee removal. If you look very closely, that there were different colors of silk, and it was done in a very sophisticated ribbon work pattern. It's a very rare object, and it's in very bad condition, but still it's a pre-removal object, so there are not very many of these around. So what we have in the collections that you're seeing here with pre-removal objects, for the Cherokee, the importance of those objects cannot be overstated. And the people that work at the NMAI and in this collection storage area are very conscious of how important this material is to tribal people. And we show that respect to the objects in every way we can. So this entire building was built to be a handsome building that tribal people would want to enjoy to come to, and that they would feel comfortable working here. And we have a lot of spacious areas where their material can be spread out and they can spend as much time as they want with that material. But this entire building is built to safeguard the collection and to show our respect to the people whose cultural heritage it is.
Not far from the United States Capitol building, the historic Congressional Cemetery sprawls across 35 acres along the Potomac River. It was founded in 1807 and is the final resting place for thousands of Americans, including members of Congress, their families, and other U.S. dignitaries. Some of the headstones here belong to Cherokee citizens too, each one with a unique story that offers a glimpse into our nation's history. One of those is William Shorey Cootie, born in 1806 in Tennessee and the nephew of celebrated Cherokee chief John Ross. Throughout his lifetime, William traveled back and forth between Indian Territory and Washington, D.C. as a Cherokee delegate. For years, he negotiated for the nation's sovereignty, and for a time, he was president of the Cherokee Senate. Cootie authored two very important documents, the Act of Union between the Eastern and Western Cherokee and the 1839 Cherokee Constitution, which formally joined the previously splintered Cherokee factions and framed the Cherokee government for decades to come. In 1849, William S. Cootie became ill while in Washington and died on April 16th. He's buried alongside his 17-year-old daughter, Henrietta, who died while visiting him there just a month earlier.
Back here in the Cherokee Nation, the tribe has relocated several Badlands bison from South Dakota to their new home in northeastern Oklahoma. We checked in on the herd just after the first calf was born on Cherokee soil.
Buffalo are a wild animal. When you look at the past and what they've been through and what they've overcome, it's quite a story. You know, to go to the brink of extinction and then being brought back now is, you know, there's not a lot of species that could say that they've been there. My name's Chris Barnhart. I'm the buffalo herdsman for Cherokee Nation's Natural Resources. My dad was a cowboy. He was a professional bullfighter. It's just kind of what I've always wanted to be. When this deal came about, it just kind of, I fell into it, so to speak, and I love it. You don't really cowboy buffalo, but I mean, you still have to have a lot of the same skill set. Take care of the feeding, the fencing, any management of the herd. The ones that we've got now, a lot of them are 5- and 6-year-old bulls and cows. They're going to weigh 1,100 pounds. A lot of the bulls will. Cows are going to be a little bit less. They can get up to 2,000 pounds, 5.5 to 6 feet tall at the shoulder. Buffalo really don't respect anything that's not bigger than a buffalo.
I'm Gunnar Gulager with Cherokee Nation. I'm the Director of Natural Resources for Cherokee Nation. We got a hold of the ITBC, Intertribal Buffalo Council, in Rapid City, South Dakota. And they come down, looked at our place and said that we have a nice area to put the buffalo. We have to build a fence and a place to contain them and everything. And they have a roundup every 2 years in state parks and reservations where they're overpopulated. And then ITBC is made up and comprised of 59 tribes throughout North America, including Canada. And each tribe is allotted so many buffalo, how many they want, up to 50 head. So we started out with 50 buffalo. I think we have 38 mamas and 12 bulls, and now we have 9 new calves as we're talking today.
Since the calves have been born, most of them are born away from the herd, and within a couple hours when they're up and moving, the mother brings them back into the herd. They have gotten to where they stay in more of a secluded areas right now, you know, be in the woods. This morning we did kind of push them out of the woods. There were actually 5 of the babies and their mamas that still stayed in the woods. We didn't want to disturb them too much. They were the younger ones. They're a new thing. It's been years since there's been buffalo around here. I can remember when I was a small child that there were a few at the Heritage Center. But since then, there haven't been many around. So people are really curious about them. In the 1800s, they were hunted for hides mostly and driven to the point of extinction. I think at one time it was as low as 800 total in the nation. A lot of that was because the government didn't regulate it, because the Plains tribes did use it. I mean, the buffalo was their sustenance. They used every part of it, and that's, you know, it was kind of an eradication of both the Plains tribe and the buffalo. They're a very resilient animal. They were put onto reserves and have been just brought back slowly from that point. There's just something about them. They're relaxing. They're kind of a majestic animal to me. Kind of sounds funny, but they're just, nothing really bothers them. I mean, just like right here, they don't jump up and run out of the way. They kind of go with the flow, and it's relaxing. It's their world. We just kind of get to live in it. I'm proud to see them here. We're doing something that, you know, is helping a species that's helped all Native American people throughout time.
Jalagi Iniwani He. Let's talk Cherokee. First phrase in English, it's time to leave. Asquali Aquanigisti'i. It's time to leave. Asquali Aquanigisti'i. Let's go. Ina Nagi. Let's go. Ina Nagi.
Cherokee Nation is proud so many of our young people are leaving a positive impact on the world around them, and that includes Garrett Reed. We checked in with Reed as he was finishing up his term as statewide president of Future Farmers of America.
FFA members and guests, welcome to the 3rd General Session of the 2015 State FFA Convention. The oldest rise to your feet, give it up for That's what we like to hear.
Whenever I was about 6 or 7, our Sunday school class was introduced on the stage to sing a song in front of the congregation, and I really didn't want to, so I walked up on stage and then sat down on the edge of the stage and cried while all of my friends were singing. So that kind of gives you an idea how shy I was. My name is Garrett Reed, and I am currently serving as the state president of the Oklahoma FFA Association. I was actually a top 10 freshman at Oklahoma State this past year. I made my first B, and that was really, really tough. I had to call my mom and talk to her about it. I was pretty upset about it. So now I'm actually a sophomore, though, at Oklahoma State. I'm from Locust Grove, Oklahoma. Grew up on a small farm. We've always had horses and mules, things like that. I've been around livestock and animals, since I was old enough to walk. I didn't start showing cattle until I was about 8 or 9 years old. A family friend, local dairy farmer, had a heifer that I ended up showing, and that's really what kind of got me hooked. I guess I had worked for. It was something that I took a lot of pride in because this was mine. And that was kind of a neat feeling, almost like a little sense of freedom in a way. It just really instills in you that hard work ethic. It's a lot of drive and passion as well. Small town Oklahoma is great for me just because, like I said, you know everyone in the town, and you really have a really strong support system. But I also have my tribal community as well, as far as the people that I know, some of the elders that I can go visit with for that advice, or if I'm having a bad day, I can go and talk with them, and they can share past experiences with me. I was actually president of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Youth Council for a year, and that was a really neat opportunity to get to know a lot of the other Cherokee youth that were about the same age as I was. Whenever I started out in the FFA, I was very shy, very quiet, very reserved. But my ag teacher always says he compared my bravery to a 6-week-old border collie pup. Sure, Mr. Joe Cunningham, he had a really big impact on me, opening my eyes to a lot of opportunities as far as public speaking and things of that nature. Well, right now, I'm an ag business pre-law major at Oklahoma State. And upon graduation, right now, I feel like that I'm going to end up going to law school. Trying to stay in the ag industry as much as possible with the law degree. I feel like that would be a great way for me to use my public speaking abilities, but to use a lot of the networking and the connections that I've made within the ag industry, to continue to be a fighter for agriculture and the Cherokee Nation as well. This convention is so great because this is where we honor, a lot of those hardworking FFA members from across the state. This is where they receive all of their awards. This is where they get the recognition for all the hard work that they put into their FFA career. And I think that's a really neat opportunity for them to be recognized on the big stage. Yeah, it's really cool. We've got all the lights and the lasers and the music going everywhere. There's constantly something going on. I never would have imagined I'd be in front of 10,000 people, quite a bit, getting to speak. So it's definitely opened up a lot of doors for me and a lot of opportunities. It's a really humbling feeling whenever I'm on stage in front of all those people.
For want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For want of a shoe, the horse was lost. For want of a horse, the rider was lost. For want of a rider, the message was lost. For want of a message, the battle was lost. For want of a battle, the kingdom was lost. And the kingdom was lost, all for the want of one horseshoe nail.
It really is humbling whenever you can see the impact that you can make on these members.
FFA members, this retiring address is not about me. It's about you. It's about all 27,000 of you. This organization would not be the same without each and every one of you. I wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed our show, and remember, you can always watch entire episodes and share your favorite stories online at Osio.tv. There is no Cherokee word for goodbye because we know we'll see you again. So until next time, Wado.
It's your turn to visit the Cherokee Nation and explore 66,000 acres of lush Oklahoma countryside, scenic rivers and lakes, and engaging cultural attractions, like the John Ross Museum and Cemetery in Park Hill. The museum is set in a former rural schoolhouse built in 1913 and highlights the life and legacy of the influential Cherokee chief John Ross. Ross was principal chief of the Cherokee Nation for nearly 40 years during one of the most tumultuous and impactful times in its history. Born in 1790, Ross was a native of the old Cherokee Nation in what is now Georgia. He rose to prominence at a young age, and by 1827, Ross had served his nation as a delegate to Washington, D.C., as a veteran of the Battle of Horseshoe Bend, and as president of the Cherokee National Committee. In 1828, John Ross was elected principal chief of the Cherokee Nation for the first of many terms. Ross fought tirelessly against President Andrew Jackson's Indian removal policy, determined to protect the Cherokee homelands. Ultimately, Ross was unsuccessful in preventing the devastation that was the Trail of Tears. So he led the Cherokees to the new Indian Territory, where they would rebuild their government with Chief Ross at the helm. Ross and his family settled in Park Hill, Indian Territory, near present-day Tahlequah, Oklahoma. After a lifetime of working to preserve the sovereignty of the Cherokee Nation, Chief John Ross died in Washington, D.C. in 1866, campaigning for his people and his nation until the very end. He is buried in the Ross Cemetery in Park Hill, situated just behind the John Ross Museum. The cemetery is on the National Register of Historic Places and is the burial grounds for many in the Ross family, important Cherokee delegates, and survivors of the Trail of Tears. In addition to highlighting the life and legacy of Chief John Ross, the museum houses exhibits and interactive displays on the Trail of Tears, Civil War, Cherokee Golden Age, and Cherokee Nation's passion for the education of its people. The museum also has a gift shop and research area. To plan your visit to the museum, go to visitcherokeenation.com.
In the Cherokee Nation, news happens every day.
Cherokee Nation's economic impact on the state of Oklahoma now exceeds $2 billion.
The dollars that are generated here are creating jobs.
It benefits everyone. Creating headlines.
The new 469,000 square foot health facility is the result of the largest joint venture agreement ever.
For the people of the Cherokee Nation, and it'll impact them for generations to come.
Creating opportunities.
Cherokee Nation employees can now take 8 weeks of paid maternity leave.
We have lots of young mothers and young families, and this is something that's very exciting.
This year, the tribe awarded $5 million to superintendents from about 100 public school districts.
When it comes to education, we're all in it together.
Creating a better place to call home.
The Wilma P. Mankiller Health Center in Stillwell, Oklahoma, nearly doubled in size.
That this absolutely will make a tremendous impact on the quality of life.
It's going to provide more jobs.
For more Cherokee Nation news, visit onadiskoe.com.